Hey everyone, before we get into this episode, we made a mistake with some of the audio stuff. I don't know if it was just a missed chord or something along those lines, but the recording is going to sound a little different for this little spotlight episode. However, we still felt that the material and the things that we were talking about were super important. So I hope you enjoy this episode. I promise the audio will be fixed for all future spotlights, but we're gonna kind of move forward with this one anyway. Hey, this is the What Are You Doing podcast, a next-gen podcast of the Arizona Mission Network. I'm Josh today. I'm here with Jeremy Wiles. This is our second of our Spotlight series where we kind of just go out and talk to other youth pastors in Arizona, kind of see and ask them the question, what are you doing? So, Jeremy, what are you doing?
Well, I'm glad I get to be the number two. So we're just going to start off with a good joke. What am I doing? I don't think I'm doing anything special, but I serve at Avondale Baptist Church. I'm the associate pastor here. I've been here for 4 years, I think. Feels like a lot longer. But I've been here for 4 years, serving with all of our student ministry. So I help out college, youth, children, and then we have a preschool director that I work alongside.
Yeah. We were even, like, when we were joking, when we were setting up and everything, I was like, hey, do you want to take on? And, like, you cut me off right there, like, I can't take on.
I am not saying yes to another thing.
Yeah, you've got a lot on your plate, man. So how is doing all of these extra things and youth ministry? Like, how do you incorporate those things together? How do you make something like that work?
I am constantly moving. I think it's probably like the ADD in my brain that is just always moving to the next subject. So for me, I don't know that I make it work well, but we're moving in a direction.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of funny. Thinking about how I take on all of those extra things, it's still focused in on what's going to benefit our church and help our students see more of Jesus.
Yeah.
So kids ministry, I help out with a kids camp. And so working alongside that and making sure that the kids have a better experience to see Jesus. So yes, I'm going to help out as much as I can. Youth camp, I'm going to help out with Zona, because if our kids are going to Zona camp, then I want to make sure that our students are seeing Jesus as much as possible. So it's just kind of been that thing. I was talking with my pastor today, even. We're called to ministry. And so if you're called to something, your first answer should be yes when it comes to things along your ministry. Eventually, though, you get tapped out and you can only do so much. But that should be like our default is when it comes to seeing students that need to have a good experience or need to have something that is there and there's gaps. My tendency is to run and fill the gap. Legitimately, like, make sure that there's something there that is still going to have a good experience and they're going to be able to see Jesus in the whole thing. So
yeah, I'm going to kind of dig on that a little bit too. Okay. So you wear tons of hats. There are some ministries, even where I started, where like my only thing was youth ministry. Yeah. Like, I don't need to touch anything else. If I did, it'd probably like catch on fire or something. How do you incorporate the time for like self-devotion, but also digging in with relationships with students and other people in church? Like, you're the associate pastor, so you've got a lot of other things, and still dedicate yourself to each one of those hats or ministries or whatever it is, like, wholeheartedly? How do you make sure that they each get the appropriate amount of time?
I think that's probably something that I still fail at. I don't want to, but to say they each get the appropriate time, it depends on your viewpoint. I mean, I'm only one person, so for a church our size, it would be great to have one person in each of those positions, but that can't happen. We're not in that position to where we can be able to do that, and so I have to really work hard to get people bought in to each ministry, and so I feel like it's the same job that the senior pastor has to do in a church. Is, you have to really sell your vision and what does it look like for the students and what is God calling you to do. And so it's the same thing that we have to do for each of our lay leaders. And so I have really good teams and really good people that are working alongside me. So I might have the hat, but I'm just the one that's kind of pointing and saying, hey, we're going to go in this direction, and hey, we need to go over here and meet this need. And then the teams that I have they're really good, and they definitely are about the ministry and about the students.
Yeah. So it's not just you running
No.
one thing all the time, always only Jeremy.
No.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work that way. I mean, I don't think it works that way in any church. It definitely wouldn't work in our church.
No.
Even though, like, I'm at them all, like, I'll show up and, I'm there, but it's really a team that's behind the whole thing, as a church should be. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of hands and feet here. And I think, like, your church, my church, everybody's church has that same scenario. There are plenty of hands and feet. They just need to know that they have a part in the church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's encouraging them. And then I've found even too, then giving them that direction too. There's so many people that want to serve, and now you need to take that second and say, hey, let me be the guide. Let me be the guy that kind of helps point you in that direction. And then
I was gonna say, it's kind of funny. I had so I have a very age variant in my leadership team for youth. In fact, I think how one of my students depicted it, they said, Eric is like ancient Greece. That's how old he is. And so it was funny. And he came to me because he's he was in the Navy for 20 plus years. And so he was like, I just want to help young men become leaders and know what that looks like. And I went, oh, okay. Well, what does that look like at the church? And, we had coffee, and he goes, I really don't know. I said, I think it means that you need to just show up on Sunday and meet some kids. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, what does that look like? I said, how about you meet me in the youth room? We have traditional Sunday school. So 9:45 on Sunday morning, meet me in the Sunday school room, meet me in the youth room, and just come and hang out for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I said, and do that for like 3 months. And he was like, I think I could do that. And he's been in the youth room now for 2 years. Yep. So and he teases me all the time. He's like, you didn't say I was going to be here forever. I said, welcome to Southern Baptist work. Mm-hmm. You said yes once, you're here forever.
You're stuck.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. I have a leader whose jokes that he's older than Moses, but I also have a team of just like, hey, you said you could commit a little bit,
right?
And then I'm gonna like start tagging on a little bit more. I'm just gonna kind of see,
And I think that's probably been the biggest gap for us now, coming back from COVID.
Yeah,
is most people realized how much time they had once they got COVID freedom, and so they were able to start saying no to the things that they were volunteering to, because all of a sudden it doesn't fit in my schedule.
Yep.
And it's like I keep battling this, and I have a little bit older church, and so it's like, but I'm gonna retire, and I'm like, if you can show me the text where God says you get to retire, I would love for you to show me where that's at in the Bible. I think Moses just died, so he worked and then he died, and I feel like that's kind of who we are as people. We are called to keep serving until he calls us home. And so, it's been kind of fun to watch people go, yeah, but I don't think I fit there. I said, okay, but where do you?
Yep.
Where can you?
Yeah. We can find you somewhere.
Yeah, there's definitely a place for you to work. And me being between bed babies all the way to collegiate ministry and some young adults, there's a place for you to be able to work. It may not be with our teenagers anymore, but there's a spot. You might not get the vibe talk and I don't even know some of these words. That's okay. I don't want to say it. That's the point, is I don't want to say it. But you may not have that point anymore, and it's okay, because there are other people that need to fill your spot. So remember that just because you leave a seat doesn't mean somebody's not going to fill the seat.
Right. So one of our running jokes, and I am going to throw this into our podcast, is always that Jeremy's like grandpa youth pastor.
That's right.
Because he's got the age, you have the experience, honestly, as well.
You can feather it however you want.
I'm going to try to do as best we can. You are significantly older.
Significantly. That's such a nice word.
I try. But hey, I wanted to incorporate the joke into also the seriousness that we also try to, and respect that we have for you in it too. You've been in ministry for how long?
23 years.
Right. And how does that impact literally everything you do. I've been in ministry for like 5 years, and I can
Okay.
think, day one, stories of like kids getting bit by squirrels and things like that. And I'm like, I'm never letting that happen again. Like I can think back a couple years and like how vastly different my ministry is.
Oh yeah.
Or is your ministry and how you do things shaped by that? How do you like then encourage the younger generation or even us to like pay attention, look up, like do the right thing? Does that kind of make sense?
Okay, so I think part of being in ministry for this long should be an encouragement, just because it's like, hey, he's still moving and he's not completely burnt out yet.
He's not dead like Moses.
He's not dead like Moses. He doesn't need a walking stick to move around just quite yet.
A couple more years.
Yeah, maybe a couple more years. But that's part of it. But I think for me personally, I've always strived to be around younger ministers. One, because I do want to encourage, right? Like just learn how to love and be loved. And we get so busy trying to fill our ministry because we, a lot of student ministries, especially in this field, we want something else. There's a lot, I've seen it over and over and over again, and even I'm an associate pastor, but like I was called to student ministry. And so student ministry is always going to be my number one, because that's what God has me, even though I'm much older than most people that are doing student ministry. It's still what God called me to, and that's where my heart is drawn. And so remembering and trying to teach our younger generation that it's okay that that's where your heart is drawn and that's where God is calling you. You don't always have to look for the bigger and better. Just love where you're at, and love the moment that you're in, and just allow God to keep moving and maturing you, and just enjoy it. I think the one thing though that is kind of crazy is the older you get into ministry, you start to see students and children that you have ministered then become ministers and things like that. And so it's a huge blessing, because it's like, whether they know it or not, like watching them grow in their ministry and watch them grow in Christ, it just like, hey, I got to be a part of that person's life. Like, God so blessed me to be able to be in Arizona for this long and get to stay here and do ministry and watch as students have grown and become leaders. And so just continuing to stay around and try to be relevant as much as possible, even though you know that you are the butt of the joke, and it's okay.
We keep you around for that reason. Well, hey, so I'm always super encouraged getting to have conversations with you, see your ministry from how your students are interacting with the whole church. From I know you guys have a strong like homeless outreach or all these different things. So Jeremy, I definitely appreciate your time as we kind of wrap up for today. My only thing as we kind of wrap up, is there anything that you would want to say to any super young minister that's maybe coming up, like give your grandpa wisdom as a parting gift?
Oh wow. Okay, well, I think just a couple things. Don't hesitate to ask a question. Be willing to just love students and love them where they're at, and move and just show them Jesus. It's okay if it's a group of 5 or if it's a group of 50 or it's a group of 500. God called us to reach one at a time, and so it's okay. Just be encouraged that God has you where you're at, and love the field in which you're ministering.
Yeah, that's great. Well, again, Jeremy, we totally appreciate it. It is always fun driving out to Avondale and getting to hang out with you. And we did D Now here this last year, a ton of things. So fun. It was good stuff. Well, again, thank you. This is our second of hopefully many different spotlights. So we're
excited. I'm the number 2.
You're the number 2 guy.
Yeah, that's right. Number 2.
No, but hey, as we continue having some of these spotlights, I can't wait to see how we continue to have this conversation and see just how different everybody's youth ministry actually is. So again, this was just the What Are You Doing podcast. So hopefully see you in the next one.
I appreciate it.